Hello everyone, my name is Ruslan and this is the Luft Games channel. In this video, I'll tell you where to find all the collectible items on the Riverbend Springs map. Here's the deal. This map has several structures that can either be restored or built. One of them is an old grain elevator. It's almost completely destroyed, but we can restore it and turn it into a museum. To restore it, you'll need to deliver construction materials to this location. A ton of materials are required, and it'll take a ton of time. But just restoring the elevator isn't enough. After all, it's a museum, and a museum needs exhibits. You can start searching for items even before the museum is restored. That's not an issue. At the early stages of the game, this is actually useful because you get $10,000 for each item you find. There are 25 exhibits on the map in total. That's $250,000. The items are mostly scattered across various sheds, and it's not always clear what's a museum exhibit and what's just junk. Now onto the main part of the video, where to find all these collectibles. First, I've created a map for you showing their locations. This is so you can search for them yourself if you want. Take a screenshot and use it. Here's how I'll show the search. The mini-map will always be displayed at maximum size, and I'll add something like an arrow indicating where we're heading. We'll be driving a car to make it as easy as possible for you to find the location I'm moving towards. So, the first collectible item is located almost right across the road from the elevator. It's at this spot, a restaurant near plot 63. The restaurant is designed like an old steamboat, almost a museum itself. Go onto the deck and head left. Under the stairs at the bow, you'll find a scale. Get close to it, and the prompt "Collect Item" will appear. Press R to pick up the scale. If you return to the elevator, it will now appear in this room. I'll call it the control room. I'm not sure if that's the correct term. Feel free to let me know in the comments. It's not exactly a scale as we think of it, it's more like a part of the elevator's weighing mechanism. The next item is located at the gas station near field 74. There's a huge donut advertisement sign here. I'll park. An interesting cafe. It's a shame you can't go inside, but there's no need to, because what we need is hanging near the door. It's this old telephone. Let's grab it. It's amazing how old this elevator must be if they used phones like this back then. The next item is in the forest near field 70. Drive to the edge of the field and follow the border to the very corner. Stop there, head slightly into the forest, and you'll see a shed. Go inside, and there's either a grain crusher or a hand mill. Collect it. And now it's appeared in the control room. Let's keep going. Head downhill. The slope here is manageable. Exit onto the road, and almost immediately, you'll find a sawmill. Drive in and continue almost to the end along the railroad tracks. The building we're interested in is here. Get out, jump over the chute. It's also well crafted, with care and detail. Go inside, and above the shift table, you'll find a chalkboard. Loot it. The board is now in the office, with faintly visible writing like wheat and beans. I could use a board like that. Next item. Head to the very bottom, along field 77. Here, you'll find a rope factory. Right at the entrance, there's a shed. Go inside, and among the clutter, there's an old desk bell. Take it. The bell appears on the desk in the office, probably a valuable exhibit. Keep driving along the road, and enter a farm. To the left, there's a standard barn. Inside, near a trash container, there's some kind of mechanism. Collect it. It also appears in the control room. It seems to be a grain sorter, but I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments. Let's keep going. Near the edge of the map, past field 90, there's a trail. Turn onto it and drive. At the end of the trail, you'll find a shed. Inside is another mechanism with an unknown purpose to me. I don't know what it is, but the museum needs it. It appears on the lower level of the elevator. It seems to be a grain cleaner. I really wish there were plaques describing the items. It is a museum, after all. We head back to the road and immediately turn left. Cross the bridge, and right after it, turn right. Into the territory of what looks like a carpenter's workshop. There's a lot of wooden products here. By the way, this place can also accept materials for construction. Eventually, a sort of playground in the style of a giant ship will appear here. But that's not our focus now. To the left, there's another shed. Jump over the tape. There are some chairs here, probably for sale. Go down into the basement, and in the far corner, on a table, there's a lamp. Grab it. I just realized we don't ask anyone's permission to take these items. But it seems like the museum needs them more. The lamp is now on a table, possibly a kerosene lamp. Next, drive along the road by the river. You'll come across a small inlet, like an underground river or something similar. We're stopping here to get our bearings. Climb the stairs, and at the top, you'll almost immediately see a cave. It's a beautiful cave with small waterfalls, and here you'll find a poster. Take it. Now, the elevator schematic poster will be hanging on our wall. How it didn't get damp in that cave, I have no idea. The next item is very easy to find. At Field 86, there's a lookout tower. The collectible is at the top. After what feels like a million steps, you'll reach the top. And no, the collectible isn't the giant ball up there. It's actually a potbelly stove. The lookout workers surely don't need it anymore, so we'll take it. The stove appears inside our office. Now, to avoid crossing the river, head to the center of the map first. Stop at this intersection. The water tower will serve as a landmark. Turn your gaze directly opposite and head toward the fence of some building. Jump over the fence and walk to a dumpster. Yes, the collectible is in the trash, a pair of vintage pitchforks. Collect them. For some, it's trash, but for others, it's a museum exhibit. Check your attics, you'll probably have plenty of museum-worthy items there too. The next item is nearby, behind a warehouse. Cross the railroad tracks near the grain storage. Squeeze through the fence. At the edge of Field 82, there's a small shed. Go inside, and there's a wheel. Naturally, it's a valve. It ends up on the elevator wall, but what it controls, I have no idea. On this side of the river, we've collected all the items. So, let's cross the river and head towards field number 55. Nearby, there's a paper factory. We drive onto the factory grounds and get out of the car. We walk along the wooden walkway. Everything is so beautifully done here. The item we need is located in this room. The door can be opened once we purchase the factory. However, if we approach the window, we can reach the item. Press R. Yes, we just stole a desk through the window. I hope there weren't any important documents inside. If there were, they'll now be stored in the office at the elevator. We continue heading up the map. We reach the sushi advertisement. Here is a spinning mill. To the right of the factory, there's a small garage. We go inside and, without asking anyone, we take a typewriter. Now, it's a part of the collection at the old elevator. From the spinning mill, we head up the map again. We almost reach the top of the map, close to the road end markers. Just before these markers, we turn left onto a path. Almost immediately, we see another small shed. Inside, there's a thresher. I hope I'm not mistaken, and it really is a thresher. This device separates the grain from the ears. Now, threshers are built into combine harvesters, but once upon a time, they were standalone machines. This device appears on the upper level of the elevator. We return to the road and drive to the sunflower farm. It's a cool place with various attractions and a small market. We're interested in the barn at the end of the farm, where bales are stacked. Inside, someone has built a fort from hay bales. Here's something interesting. I'm sure it was built by someone related to the farm, but again, it's more useful to us. We take this device, and now it's in the museum. As I understand it, this device demonstrates the working principle of the elevator in cross-section. It's a pity we can't turn those knobs. We head a little further down from the sunflower farm and arrive at the beekeeping area. It looks quite nice here. Oh, and of course, it's not safe to go in like this. This is better. It's a shame the suit doesn't have any effect. Anyway, the collectible here is the scoop. Why not? It's not old, but vintage. We head back to the road, and we can use field number 34 as a landmark. We drive over a bridge across a stream. Wow, it really is a bridge over a stream. Amazing. Behind the bridge, there's a lonely shed. Just a shed by the road. Inside, there's a lot of junk, but we specifically came for this bucket. I understand this isn't just any bucket. I'm not connected to farming, but I want to know what this bucket is for. Maybe the game should include some kind of description for it? Alright, let's move on. We descend a little and ride between fields 31 and 30. We pass by a kart factory. It's amazing how detailed everything is on this map. The factory has several levels and blends into the landscape. But of course, our goal is yet another unremarkable shed. And the collectible item. Is this a flour sifter or something? Well, we'll take the sifter and hang it in the elevator operator's room. From the kart factory, we drive down and enter the grain storage area. We go behind the storage. Here, we see a structure for loading grain onto barges. At least, that's what I think it is. We walk under this structure right up to the booth. Inside, there's a wooden shovel. Honestly, I'd prefer a chair. But fine, the shovel now hangs on the wall. We return to the main road. Our next goal is the lower point between fields 19 and 20. Somewhere around here, we turn right. The landmark is this windmill. And right under the windmill, we see a wheelbarrow. An interesting design, almost like there's an unloading mechanism here. To grab the wheelbarrow, you need to approach from a certain side. Tomorrow, some farmer won't find his wheelbarrow because it's now in the museum. The next item is nearby. We drive down along field 21. Of course, the item is in someone's shed. We enter the yard and head towards the shed. Which of these items would be suitable for the museum? Obviously, this wooden thing. It's some kind of lift or elevator. The next item is at the corner of field 14. Right behind the fire station, we turn right. This time, it's a larger shed. Inside, there's nothing. The item we need is upstairs. We climb the ladder and enter the second floor. We need this pipe. Don't ask why. This pipe will appear on the upper level of the elevator. Logic suggests that this is a device for redirecting grain flows. By moving the pipe to different pipes, we can fill various containers. At least, that's my guess. Although, if you look from below, there are no other pipes, but maybe it's just a demonstration of the mechanism. The next item might be a bit tricky to find on the map. Not far from the football field, there's a house. Look for a house with a children's slide and sandbox. As usual, we enter the shed, but there's nothing of interest for us here. The item is outside. And it's not a watering can. Oddly enough, we need these flower pots. It feels a bit wrong to take them. We dump the flowers out and take the item for ourselves. These are the buckets for the conveyor mechanism of the elevator. Or whatever they're called. Honestly, the flowers could have been left in the buckets. The last item is on our starting farm. We head between the 4th and 5th fields to the end. Once again, a small shed, and inside, an old engine. We move it to the museum. It will be placed on a lower level. Finally, all the museum exhibits are collected. The achievement is unlocked on Steam. And in total, $250,000. There's no practical use for the elevator, but collecting exhibits adds some variety to the gameplay. Now, for the spoonful of tar in this barrel of honey. I encountered a bug. I restored the elevator. I brought all the materials I needed. I went through all the stages of construction. It probably took about 2 real hours. I was just buying materials at the warehouse, so what's the problem? At different stages of the elevator's construction, there are various doors, including destroyed ones. The thing is, the old doors didn't disappear, they just became invisible. The new doors didn't get triggers to open, so it was impossible to open the doors. It turns out that you can't enter the restored elevator. I started a new game and restored it again. The result was the same. You still can't enter the elevator. I got frustrated and just deleted all the obstructing doors from the elevator model. This way, I could enter and film the video for this guide. This bug is probably not just happening to me. Just so you know, if you fully restore the elevator, you might not be able to get inside. The game version in the video is 1.2.1.0. I hope a patch will be released soon to fix this issue. However, even if you don't restore the elevator, you can still collect the items. They will also appear inside the elevator, and you'll earn money for them. To clarify, you can collect the items regardless of whether you've restored the elevator or not, or even during the restoration process. It's just that if you restore the elevator, you might encounter the bug and won't be able to enter. The items will still appear inside, but you'll only be able to view them through the window. Once this bug is fixed, you'll be able to fully restore it. That's all, thanks for watching, for the likes and positive comments, and goodbye everyone.